In July of 2022, FaZe Clan listed on the NASDAQ by merging with a SPAC at a $725 million valuation. This made it the first pure-play esports company listed on a major US exchange. It is estimated that there are over 500 million esports viewers around the world, and this number is only expected to grow going forward. So it's no surprise that Wall Street wants to get a piece of this expanding market. FaZe Clan seemed like an obvious choice. They are some of the OGs in the video game streaming and esports world. It was founded by a group of friends in 2010 who published Call of Duty trickshot videos on YouTube. Over the years, they grew by signing on new members, entering esports competitions, and expanding beyond Call of Duty. As they won competitions and expanded their team, their popularity grew, racking up tens of millions of subscribers across their various YouTube channels, and they started making real money with sponsorships, collaborations, and branded merchandise sales. No wonder investment bankers were captivated and took the company public with a SPAC. Despite the hype, their short history as a publicly traded company has been a complete and total disaster. As of the time of recording this video, the stock price has declined 97% to just 27 cents per share. With a market cap of $21 million, it is firmly within penny stock territory, and they have already received a delisting notice from the NASDAQ. Their revenue is collapsing and they are hemorrhaging cash. At the current rate, they look set to declare bankruptcy within the next few quarters. While the stock chart looks dramatic, if you look at FaZe Clan's history, the rapid decline should have come as no surprise. Even before the SPAC deal was announced, there were numerous red flags which should have made the company uninvestable at any price. In this video, we'll take a deep dive into FaZe Clan, the IPO that never should have happened. Before we get into the video, quick word from our sponsors over at Kudos. One of the best ways to save money is by using credit cards for your purchases, which can give you cash back and other rewards when you shop online. If you do a lot of online shopping, these rewards can add up to thousands of dollars per year. There are dozens of different credit cards, and the reward systems can be very complicated. Some people spend hours upon hours researching the best credit cards for each purchase. But thanks to Kudos, this is no longer necessary. Kudos is a free browser extension that helps you earn more whenever you shop online. For instance, if you usually earn 3% from your credit cards on sites like Booking.com or Sephora, you'll now get 6% back with Kudos. That's basically free money that goes back into your pocket. Kudos also helps recommend the best cards to use on every purchase. And once again, Kudos is completely free. All you have to do is add Kudos to your desktop or iPhone in just 2 clicks, and shop like normal. Kudos saves the average user over $750 per year. So don't wait. Use code WSM and get Kudos for free by clicking the link below, or go to joinkudos.com/WSM. That's joinkudos.com/WSM so they know I sent you. Stop leaving money on the table and start doubling your credit card rewards with Kudos today. FaZe is structured kind of like an agency. There's the FaZe Clan corporate umbrella on the top. Beneath that, they have dozens of streamers who act as independent contractors. The streamer will stream themselves playing video games on platforms like YouTube and Twitch, as well as competing in esports competitions on behalf of FaZe. FaZe has a few ways of generating revenue. Firstly, they receive the AdSense revenue from the streamers' YouTube channels, as well as the prize money from esports competitions. They also organize sponsorship deals with various brands to show up on their YouTube videos and other social media content. They operate an online shop where you can buy overpriced FaZe merchandise loaded with sponsorship placements. And finally, they license their name to various food companies to sell FaZe branded junk food. In or around 2018, FaZe secured funding from venture capitalists and hired a professional CEO. This is when they started to get serious about scaling their business. They did this by signing on a massive number of new streamers. With FaZe Clan being one of the most popular esports groups, thousands of aspiring gamers wanted to join, allowing FaZe to quickly build up their roster. They expanded into a large number of video games, including Halo, Counter-Strike, and even more obscure games like Rocket League. They appeared to have very few requirements of what it takes to become a FaZe streamer. For example, in 2019, they signed on an 11-year-old Fortnite streamer, and allegedly pressured him to lie about his age, which would violate labor laws. Ethical considerations aside, they appeared to be doing pretty well. As they signed on more streamers, their aggregate subscriber count grew, allowing them to sign bigger and more lucrative sponsorship deals. In 2021, an investment bank called B. Riley created a special purpose acquisition company, whose sole purpose was to identify and merge with another company. In October of 2021, they agreed to merge with FaZe Clan. They initially planned a $1 billion valuation. B. Riley's investors balked at the high price, and they adjusted it down to $725 million, which was still a huge win for FaZe Clan. To get investors to buy in, SPACs always try to paint a rosy picture in their investor presentations. But the FaZe presentation might take the cake for the most absurdly promotional we've seen to date. In 2021, FaZe was on track to make just $50 million of revenue, but they expected this to grow at a compound rate of 90% per year and reach $650 million by 2025. They also expected to become profitable by 2023. So how would they achieve this? They claimed that esports and video game streaming was a growing trend among the younger generations. FaZe was positioned to benefit from this growth. In the SPAC presentation, they pointed out that a recent Travis Scott Fortnite concert garnered 28 million live in-game participants and 167 million YouTube views. A virtual K-pop girl group composed by League of Legends received 450 million views on YouTube. And finally, the League of Legends 2018 World Championship Finals had over 100 million unique viewers. The problem is, FaZe Clan had zero involvement in any of these three examples. In fact, FaZe doesn't even play League of Legends, making the second two examples completely irrelevant. This is like trying to promote your basketball team by talking about how popular football is. It makes absolutely no sense. A lot of the SPAC investors were likely old people who didn't know anything about esports. They may have erroneously thought that FaZe Clan was somehow involved in these things. Their second big claim was that FaZe has significant runway for monetization. They point out that traditional sports like basketball, baseball, and football generate between $40 and $90 per audience member. FaZe currently only generates 42 cents per unique audience member. If FaZe could increase their monetization per audience to the same level as traditional sports, their revenue would increase 100-fold. But why is FaZe's monetization rate so low in the first place? Unique audience represents total subscribers to FaZe-owned and FaZe talent channels on YouTube as of July 31st, 2021. This added up to 120 million. Remember how FaZe is structured. They have their main FaZe Clan channel, and then dozens of independent streamers who each have their own channels. They added up all the subscribers across all of the channels. To call this unique audience members is absurd, as many people subscribe to multiple FaZe-affiliated channels. Also, YouTube subscriber count alone means very little. If you look at your YouTube subscriptions, you're probably subscribed to dozens of channels that you haven't watched in years. Very few people take the time to unsubscribe from channels they don't watch anymore. In the case of FaZe, many of their streamers are inactive. For example, FaZe Banks, which is one of the largest channels in terms of subscribers, is completely inactive. The last upload on their channel was 4 years ago. These inactive channels are completely worthless, yet they still get lumped into FaZe's unique viewer statistic. They also claim that they would eventually create linear television series. This makes no sense. The entire premise of streaming in esports is that it's taking market share from linear television. And anyway, no cable channel would ever touch FaZe with a 10-foot pole, due to the reputation reasons we'll discuss shortly. Finally, they would expand into things like NFTs. This idea is so dumb it's not even worth talking about. The fact that they had to resort to misleading statistics and absurd future projections already gives us a hint that the business itself wasn't nearly successful enough to justify the $725 million valuation. While the SPAC was announced in October of 2021, the de-SPAC process didn't happen until July of the next year. The stock initially surged more than 50% in the following months, but this was purely technical in nature and had nothing to do with the performance of FaZe as a business. 92% of the SPAC investors foresaw that FaZe would become a dumpster fire, so they redeemed their shares and pulled their money out. This meant that for the first few months, the free float of available shares was very small, allowing a small number of buyers to pump up the price. As soon as more shares came onto the market, the stock price collapsed. And as we'll show, there were numerous red flags which made it obvious from the beginning that FaZe would be a complete failure of a business. The streamers who make up FaZe Clan are mostly influencers in their 20s. These are not exactly who you would ever consider serious business people, and the FaZe corporate umbrella has almost no control over them. One of the most popular members was a man named Frazier Kotri, who goes by the stage name FaZe K. Up until 2021, he was one of their most popular streamers, with millions of subscribers on YouTube. In June of 2021, the investigative YouTube channel CoffeeZilla started publishing videos exposing an alleged crypto pump and dump scheme involving multiple internet personalities, including FaZe K. K allegedly deceived his followers into buying the coins and proceeded to participate in a rug pull, bagging hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of ill-gotten gains. After the alleged crypto scam was exposed, FaZe Clan fired K and suspended 2 other members who were allegedly involved, but the damage to the brand was already done. It's important to note that the FaZe K controversy happened months before they agreed to merge with B. Riley's SPAC. Given the high-profile nature about the controversy, B. Riley either knew or was reckless in not knowing about it, yet they went forward with the SPAC anyway. Perhaps B. Riley thought that with the hundreds of millions of dollars from the SPAC, FaZe could grow their way out of the mess, and that's what they tried to do. They went on a hiring spree, signing on as many new streamers and esports players as they could. To grow as fast as possible, they lowered their standards, signing on streamers who just got a few thousand views per video. They were losing money, but they didn't seem to care. With this growth at all costs strategy, they were able to grow their revenue by 30% in 2022, their first full year as a public company. But when we look at the segmentation of the revenue, we can already see cracks starting to form. FaZe has 3 main sources of revenue: brand sponsorships, AdSense revenue from YouTube views, esports winnings, and finally the sale of consumer products. In 2022, they landed a few big-name sponsors, which saw their sponsorship revenue increase by 69%. Their direct YouTube revenue declined by 10%, and their consumer product revenue decreased by 40%. This indicates that viewership across FaZe's YouTube channels has been decreasing. Not only that, but consumers are less willing to buy FaZe-branded merchandise. People buy FaZe merchandise to publicly show their support for the brand. After you learn about FaZe K's crypto scam, why would you want to support them? Also, in an effort to drive sponsorship revenue, they loaded their merchandise with sponsor logos. This hyper-commercialization made it obvious that FaZe was now a soulless corporation, trying to extract as much money from their fans as possible. This is a far cry from what made FaZe popular in the first place, which was young Call of Duty enthusiasts posting trickshot videos. When your viewership is declining and you're alienating your audience, your sponsorship revenue will inevitably dry up. Their big sponsorship push in 2022 merely served to kick the can down the road. As FaZe grew and became more corporate, many of the older FaZe members felt like they were being neglected. FaZe took a massive cut of their YouTube and sponsorship revenue, and they felt like they were getting little, if any, value in return. Because FaZe had no editorial control over their members' content, they started criticizing FaZe with increasing severity.
FaZe Clan insisted in making the clothing with me, like my merch drop and stuff like that, and I was like, you know what, it makes sense, we'll do it together, it's a good split, we'll make it in-house. They up the design and like the manufacture process, and then I have to go on Twitter to find out that these people haven't received their hoodies 2 months later, and I don't even get as much as an apology. And some of those people got the wrong hoodies because you put the wrong print on. After that, I obviously don't want to do clothing in-house with FaZe anymore, so I do it by myself. I pay for the designs myself, I found a manufacturer myself, everything, okay? I do everything myself. I didn't ask FaZe for a single thing. I get my own website, tico.com, pay for it, everything. And then they still contact me trying to get 20% of my profits without ever doing anything, no design, no help with nothing. They're still trying to take 20% off my clothing drops and my merch drops and my rug drops because I'm in FaZe. You did nothing for me. If anything, you were the one to push me away. I wanted to make it with you guys, and you couldn't deliver. Am I in FaZe or not? Because if I'm not, I would like to see a statement that I'm not anymore, and I'm cool with it. Trust me, I can stand on my own 2 legs. I have a very good community. I'm not worried about that at all. You need people like me more than I need you. And I know you guys don't think that. You're probably laughing, oh, we don't need him. You'll be surprised. You need people like me in FaZe. I don't need you.
The man in that video goes by the name Tico and has been a member of the FaZe Clan for many years. Despite his brutal criticisms of the company, he is still a member and listed on their official roster. This is not just an isolated incident. Numerous FaZe members, including some of the most popular ones, have come out blasting the company and its CEO for unfair revenue splits and general incompetence. At the end of the day, FaZe Clan's entire business model relies on their fans' support, to watch their YouTube videos, buy their products, and buy their sponsors' products. But if even their own members hate them, why would any fans want to support the company? In 2023, FaZe's sponsors started to realize this and pulled back their budgets. Sponsoring FaZe didn't result in the sales they expected, and they no longer wanted to be associated with an increasingly controversial brand. In the first quarter of 2023, revenue declined by 41%, and in the next quarter it declined another 7%. In the first half of the year, they generated $24 million of revenue. In their SPAC presentation, they said they expected to make almost $200 million in 2023. And frankly, the only reason they generated this much revenue at all is because they have some sponsorship deals that have not yet expired. To see just how dead the FaZe brand is, we can look at their consumer products revenue, which collapsed more than 90% to a measly $25,000 in the second quarter. While it used to be cool to wear a FaZe jersey, it's now an embarrassment. Even people who used to be enthusiastic fans wouldn't be caught dead wearing their merch. The company has $21 million of cash on hand. In the first half of the year, they burned $16 million. They have already received a delisting notice from the NASDAQ, and bankruptcy seems inevitable. It's clear that FaZe was grossly mismanaged. Their rapid expansion, over-commercialization, and lack of control over their members alienated their fan base and destroyed their brand image. But even if it was managed perfectly, the idea of bringing esports or video game streaming under a corporate umbrella will probably never work. The reason that video game streaming has become so popular is because anyone can do it. You just need a computer and a webcam. This allows creative personalities to build a following of fans who enjoy their unique playing style or antics. Having a big corporate overlord just adds layers of overhead cost, bureaucracy, resentment, and infighting. It does nothing to increase the quality of the content. The investment bankers saw that video game streamers could make a lot of money and wanted a way to get involved, but they never had a realistic plan of how to turn this into a profitable business at a corporate level. Alright guys, that wraps it up for this video. What do you think about FaZe Clan? Do you think we will ever see another publicly traded esports company? Let us know in the comments section below. As always, thank you so much for watching and we'll see you in the next one. Wall Street Millennial, signing out.